We're here today with Jose Muniz, one of the people CRA has helped in the past, who happened to be passing through from Abilene, Texas. Jose, thanks for stopping in and talking to us today.
Yeah, good to be here.
Thank you. Tell us about your ministry and what did you do? What did you did to choose to how you live out the Great Commission?
Jesus Cruise Street Ministry started back in 1984. Before that, before I was doing ministry, I was actually a drug dealer. So when the Lord saved me, he changed my ways, changed my life, and then He sent me back to the places where I used to sell drugs at and the places that I used to visit. Whether it was nightclubs, bars, and the neighborhoods that I used to hang out at. So the Lord sent me back to them because, I never ran into anybody sharing the gospel in those areas. So when the Lord saved me, that's where He led me to.
Wow, that's great. That's great. Now tell us about what happened in San Antonio that led you to seek help, legal help.
Well, one on a trip down to the valley where we're from, we stopped in San Antonio on the way back up, and we noticed that there was a lot of traffic. So I had a couple of thousand gospel tracts in my bag. So I told my wife, I said, let's just pull over and hand out some tracts. There's a lot of people here. That was in 1998. So we pulled over, we passed out some tracts and had a great time. So we came back to San Antonio in '99 and did it again. And between '99 and 2010, I got cited several times. I got threatened by the police department. In 2010, I had to seek some lawyers because they threatened to throw me in jail. So there was a law firm that helped out the first time, and then it happened again a few years later, and that law firm had closed down. So somebody that used to work at that law firm referred me to you guys, and they gave me a number, and I called, and immediately, you guys got on it. You asked for some information. I sent y'all information. I sent y'all a video, and you guys got on it and worked on it until the case was won.
Tell us about the NCAA tournament and what they said that you were doing that they didn't want you to do.
When I arrived there, I had been handing out gospel tracts for about 3 hours, and there was two officers within 20 feet from me, and they didn't say a word. So then, when we moved to another location where there was more foot traffic, an officer come up to me, actually three officers, but they were in just regular uniform. They pulled out a badge and told me, they asked me what I was doing. I said, well, I'm just handing out some gospel tracts. And the road was blocked, so I wasn't blocking any traffic or even foot traffic. But they told me I couldn't do it because they had a clean zone, what they called a clean zone. So he pulled out a map. He showed me the area, and he said, you can move 4 blocks that way or 2 blocks that way, but you can't be here. So I looked at his map, and where he was moving me was away from all the people. So I said, well, you know what? This is a public sidewalk, and I am a part of the public, so I have the right to be here. And he then, as soon as I said that, he asked for my ID. I gave him the ID, and I had already won a case against them. But here we go, going through the same thing. So they gave me a ticket, and they threatened to take me to jail if I didn't leave at the moment. So I took the ticket and I walked away. But we've been harassed by the city of San Antonio for 20 years. It's just been off and on. But when you guys came around, I remember one of you guys came down, and we had a meeting with the city attorneys and me and you guys, and we met at the federal courthouse there in San Antonio. I guess it was like a mediation hearing or something, trying to solve it before it went to court. And of course, the city said no. They weren't gonna, settle. They were trying to make a deal with me where I could pay a fee, and I'm like, dude, I'm not a vendor. You know, they wanted to charge me vendor fees to pass out gospel tracts. And I said, man, that's not the way it works. You know, I'm not a vendor. I have nothing to do with the NCAA, you know, the basketball tournament. I'm just here to pass out gospel tracts. So, but, you know, later on they gave in, and the case was settled.
But did CRE actually have to file a lawsuit?
Yes, they filed a lawsuit on my behalf, and you know, of course, anytime you file a lawsuit, they drag it out as long as possible. They drug it out for a while. I guess it was maybe a year and a half, 2 years. But I got a call from CRE's office telling me, hey, you know, we won. You know, they gave in. So I got a I got a settlement, you know, which was $1, you know.
Right.
So I'm gonna frame it. I'm not even gonna cash it. You know, but I have the freedom to, you know, actually the team's been going out on the street, you know, ever since. So, you know, we hit all the anything that they have at the Alamo Dome, football games, concerts, whatever it is, you know, we get to hand out gospel tracts without incident. We haven't had any incidents yet so far. So you know, since you guys won the case, so it's been good.
So you're saying that because of the work of CRE, things have changed for you for the better, so that you don't get harassed like you did before.
Yes, exactly. You know, you know, and I think this time, so far, I think it's worked because we've been right downtown, and officers drive by on bicycles, and they stop and hear what we're doing, and then they just move on. So it's been good.
So you think this is a victory for Christians to express their faith and to share the gospel with them?
Oh yes, most definitely.
Okay,
You
great.
know, because they were harassing me, you know, and our team every time we went down there. So
How big is your team?
well, our team in San Antonio, there's about 6 people. So it's not like 50 of us on a corner, you know, and there's probably about 6. We have a team in Dallas, Fort Worth, one in San Antonio, Austin, Stephenville, Texas, Houston, Texas, Corpus Christi, you know, and then we have one in the DC area and Atlanta.
Do you think that things for all those other places has changed because of what happened with CRE?
Oh yes, and I don't know, for some reason the city of San Antonio has been the worst when it comes to handing out gospel literature. They have been the worst because the other teams, I know the Dallas team had some trouble, and Fort Worth team had some trouble, but not as bad as San Antonio. So and I think in Fort Worth it just took a phone call, you know, and an email, and that took care of that. The Dallas team actually went to court. 6 people on the team got tickets. 6 or 8 people got cited, got tickets. We went to court, and the judge dropped it that day. So, you know, so it was good. But we haven't heard anything from the other teams. None of the other teams have had any issues.
Why do you think that CRE and the work that CRE is doing is important going forward in light of what we're seeing today in the country and the world?
I think it's very important because when, you know, if you don't know, we don't know the law. You know, we don't know a lot of the rules and stuff. And it's very good to have a team like CRE that knows the law, they know the Constitution, they know all the things that need to be known to fight against, you know, cities that step, you know, over our constitutional rights. And then for us to be able, I mean, it would be hard for us to get lawyers, get attorneys, and pay fees and all kinds of stuff that goes along with it. You know, so it really just shuts people down if they don't have, if you guys weren't involved, I mean, there was no way we could fight it.
Do you think the need for CRE and legal services like that is going to get more and more in the future, or do you think
I believe
how things going?
I believe it's going to increase. I believe the need is going to rise up to a different level, you know, and of course there's not a whole lot of teams on the street, but the teams that are on the street, they need help, you know, they need protection, you know, because I know several ministries that have been, you know, attacked by city ordinance, all these codes and city codes that they put on us. And, of course, we know, at least we know that the codes and the ordinances, they don't go above the Constitution. We know that much, but even though we know it, we still need legal help, to fight it properly, legally, in the right way, and to know all the, the stuff that goes along with it. So we would be kind of, they would shut us down if it wasn't for, teams like CRE.
Right.
We there was no way to combat that.
Right.
So it definitely helps. And I really appreciate it.
Great. Thank you very much.
Oh yeah, well thank you guys for what y'all do.